friends, it's Amanda here from Fun Hands-On Learning, and today I am super excited to share with you new content that I'm putting out on my website. It is an addition to our Learn to Read Leveled Fluency. So a lot of you have loved our Learn to Read Leveled Fluency. I made it many years ago, and you have requests. I've had many requests for extra Learn to Read Level Fluency. So your kids are going through it and you want more. And so that is what I am doing. That's what we're in the process of doing, and I want to share that with you today. First, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you say, what is Learn to Read Level Fluency? It is something that I created a few years ago after some training that I received, probably over 10 years ago now at Vanderbilt University in Tennessee on early learning reading strategies. So it was strategies for children who were struggling in reading, but I found that these strategies worked with all children, not just those who were struggling with reading. They were great for our youngest learners. And so I created these activity packets that worked on the specific skills that kids needed, and it was something that you could do either every single day to reinforce your reading lesson, to before your reading lesson to get the kids motivated, and they were really just helpful, practical ways to implement phonetic practice and learning what they needed to know in order to read. So I did it in levels. That's why it's called Leveled Fluency. And fluency because I wanted the children to be able to become fluent readers through the consistent practice. So the one thing that you need to know about Learn to Read Level Fluency is that consistency is key. If you do a page every day or every other day, that is what really helps the children, is the consistency. So what are they? If you've never seen them, they look like this. This is the original Learn to Read Level Fluency. And then we're going to get into the new Level Fluency Beyond that I have as well. So the original looks like this. I put mine into, I laminated the covers, and then I put the sheets in these 3-ring binders sheets so that the kids could use them with dry erase markers. And I just attached them with book rings here. You can do it that way. You don't even have to make it into a book. You could print them in black and white if you're sending them home with students, however you wanted to do it. But I decided to use the colored versions because I wanted to keep mine forever and just reuse them. And so we use them with dry erase markers. And we have a lot of fun with them. Now, I made 3 levels. So level A is obviously the easiest, and then it proceeds to level B. I don't know if you can see that there. And then level C here is the furthest one. All right, I am experimenting with some new lighting, and so because a lot of my videos, I need a new ring light, and I haven't gotten a new one yet because we are in the process of moving, and if you've been following me along, we're closing on our new house in April, and so things are super crazy, so I haven't bought a new ring light yet for filming. So I'm experimenting with a different light, and it's giving me a big shadow. So hopefully this video will come out okay. But getting back into it. So the pages, the way they used to be is that, well, they were the original ones, and you can go get these if you don't have them yet. I'm just going to pick one here. And what the kids do, this one's actually, I was trying to find one that wasn't really used. This one's kind of used too. But what my students do is I give them a dry erase marker, and then they have to verbally say the sounds to me. Now this is great practice if you are working with a small group. I know when I was a teacher, we would have remediation groups. So we would have groups of like 3 or 4 students. And what I would do is give them these pages, or give them something like this. I didn't have these pages when I was teaching. I hadn't created this yet. But we would start out our remediation groups with the practice of sounds, because what we learned is that the repetition is what was really helping those struggling readers. So we would practice our sounds. So that's the very first box on each of these pages, as you see, is practicing sounds. Now, as the levels get more difficult, then those practicing sounds get more difficult. So here you can see level B, they start blending the sounds together. And then They even start reading some short vowel words in level B, and then in level C, they start reading, long vowel words and so on. Okay, so starting with level A, what I have them do is I have them go with their finger, and don't worry about if my hands are dirty. It's because we've been moving and packing, and I have all sorts of stuff all over my hands. I'm sorry. But what I have them do is I have them start, and I'm hoping I'm not getting it too much of a glare here. I have them start on the first box. And I'm going to move you guys in here so you can, there we go. You can get a better view of it. And I have them take their finger or their marker, and they have to touch underneath each one and say the sound. So, t, d, f, s, b, k, g, m. If they say it all correctly, they can color in the little star that's down here. Now, if they make a mistake, this is very important what we learned. What I learned through the research is that you must immediately try to catch it and have them go back and fix it. So let's say, for example, they're going along and they say t, b, f. You need to stop them because they just said the B sound instead of the D sound. You say, oh, wait a minute, what letter is this? This is D. What does D say? And then they would hopefully say d, d. Very good. D says d. Let's try that again. And you have them start all the way at the beginning again. This is also important because, again, they're getting the repetition. So even though they said the R sound and the T sound correctly, you still want them to start at the beginning. So you say, okay, we're going to start again, and we're going to try it until we get it correctly. So then they try again. T, d, f. And hopefully they get it correct that time. So you have them restart until they get it all correct. Then they get to color in the star. Then they are done with that box. If you're doing it in a small group, we used to do the same thing. Sometimes we would do it orally together if we didn't have enough time for each individual student to do it with me. But at least even if you're doing it orally, you can kind of pick out those kids that are having trouble with some of the sounds. You can also pair the kids up if you're in a big classroom and you have to do it whole class, say you have 30 students. You can pair the students up, and you can have one as the checker and one as the reader, and then they switch. So you say, okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and one person person A is the reader and person B is the checker. Go. And so the reader will say the sounds, and the checker sits there to make sure they're saying the sounds correctly. If they mess up, the checker tells the student, oh, you messed up on S or whatever, go back and read them again. And then after 5 minutes, I used to make them switch, and then the other person would be the checker and the other person would be the reader. So just an option for those of you who have big classrooms, because I remember what it was like. Okay, so then the next section in level A is usually finding a beginning sound, because that's where kind of you start with your words, is your alphabet. And so here we have a dog, and so they would have to circle D. And then down here in this box is write the beginning letter for tiger, so it's a T. And then, so again, practicing the same skill, just in a different way. And then the last section here is actually starting to blend the sounds. So say the sounds, blend the sounds, say the whole blend. That's the routine. So a, ra, ra. So first they say each sound isolated, a. Then they try to blend it together. You kind of want them to pull it out. So ra, kind of make it long. And then the last part is to put it all together and say the blend quickly. Ra, 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 I, ri, ra, ra. And then, of course, you might have those students who are farther advanced, and so you could say, now can you think of a word that starts with that sound? Ra, ra. Maybe they would say rock or something like that. So you could do that with students who are a little bit more advanced. All right, so getting on in there, and it's the same thing if we go on to level B. And those of you who have seen this is a little bit of a review for you. If you go on to level B, it gets a little bit more complicated as you go on. There's some words there. I tried to make it a little bit interactive with some dice activities in this one. And so you might want to have a die on hand. They roll the die. And so I rolled 3, and then they would go down to 3, and they would have to read the sight word you. and they would roll again. Here I got a 5. They have to read the sight word is. And they keep rolling until they've read them all. And if they roll the same one again, so let's say I rolled 5 again, and I would have to say is again. And I would just keep going until I've had a chance to do all of them. And so the repetition is good there. So there's different types of ways that they're going to practice as they go along in the levels. So level B and level C, as you can see, there's just some different ways that they can practice. They're going to find some missing special sounds here. These are the R-controlled vowels. So barn is AR, and so on. And then as you can see, level C gets down to where they are reading an entire sentence, and so on. All right, now what I wanted to show you in today's video, which I'm super excited about, is since I have had so many people tell me we want more Learn to Read Level Fluency pages, our students are using them up, and we just want more interaction. So what I did is I have started creating more of them, and this is what I've called Learn to Read Level Fluency Beyond. So these pages, you could get them even if you don't have the original set. You could get these and they work perfectly fine. You don't have to have the original set, but I'm calling them Beyond because they're just more pages extra that you can do to add to your current Learn to Read Level Fluency. So what I did is, like, this is level A, page 7. I am making 3 sets of each level. So level A will have 3 sets, level B will have 3 sets, and level C will have another 3 sets. I am currently highly discounting it. You can get all of it, the entire Learn to Read Level Fluency Beyond, level A, B, and C, all 3 sets for each. So that's 3, 6, 9 sets for $6.50. So go check it out right now and buy it right now. You're pre-ordering it. So what you're going to do is, if you buy it right now, you're only going to be getting the first level A set. So you're going to be getting level A set 1. Because that's all I have finished right now. And as I'm working on them and finishing them, I'm adding them to the bundle, and you'll get them for free if you buy them now. Every time I add another set, the price goes up. So right now is the time to get them if you want the whole thing. You can also buy them separately if you only need one, or so on, or only need level A, or you only need level B, or only C. Okay, so these pages are pretty much the same thing. It still has, let me scooch back here a little bit. It still has 4 squares. So you still have your saying your sounds because we are on level A. So we just have our letters here. But then I've changed it up a little bit on what the kids do in the other 3 boxes. But they're still doing 4 practice boxes a day if you give them 1 page a day. And so I here have page 7, and they're not in order right now because when I printed them out, my printer, if you want to see, this is how my life goes. But as you can see, my printer messed up on the first 2 pages, and I had to put new ink in it, and I just haven't reprinted the first 2 pages yet. So they all kind of got mixed up, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I may make these into a book like this again, or I'm thinking what we might do is I might keep them separate, and I might use these. Let me show you. One of my favorite tools lately are these plastic sheets. I got these, I believe, off Amazon. If I can find the link, I'll try to link them below. But these sheets have where you can put a page in each one, and you use them with dry erase markers. So we reuse them all the time. We put a page in, do an activity, take them out. So I don't keep papers in them because we can just completely reuse them all the time. So let me grab this purple one because it's just like a pretty color. I'm going to put this page in here, and I'm going to show you how we do it. Okay, so if we were going to pretend that this was the page we were going to do today, as a teacher, there are a few things that I like to have on hand when I'm working on these Learn to Read Leveled Fluency pages. Obviously, you want to have some dry erase markers, so I have that here. And then I want to also have some letter manipulatives on hand. So I have some examples here. These are letter tiles, and these are great because they're nice and small, so they fit on the page pretty well. These are letter magnets, just, a simple set of letter magnets. These are the colorful ones. And then I also have another set here that are the ones where the consonants are blue and the vowels are red. And then I also have a set of ones here that are from a puzzle. So if you get alphabet puzzles, the pieces are great to not only use in puzzles, but to also use with many, many other things. And if you've watched any of my videos, you'll see that we use puzzle pieces for lots of things besides just doing puzzles. So I have that set here. But whatever you have available is totally fine. And what you want to do then is one thing, and oh, there's a mark on there. One thing that I like to do is I like to have these letters available so that after the kids say the sounds, they can go back and match their letters as well. So here's what I mean. We're going to start with our box of saying sounds. That's where I always like to start our day off with. And so stick with me here, and this is what we would do. D, ha, ah, yeah. Yay, we did it correctly. So we're going to color in the smiley face here. And then I would have them maybe use their letter tiles here and match them up and say them again. Oh. So the way I would do it with our letter tiles is I would have the children take a tile and say the sounds. D, ha, ah, yeah. And this is great for children who need that physical touch. They need to be able to use something with their hands because they're just fidgety, or they, maybe they have some sort of reason that they just really learn better with their hands. So this is great. All right. So you can do that with the letter tiles or whatever letters that you have available. All right, on here, this section, they trace each letter, circle the picture that starts with the letter. So here we're getting a little bit of fine motor practice. They're going to trace their P's so they can see how they're actually made. And then they're going to practice the beginning sound of each letter as so. Again, I like to use the dry erase markers so that they have a chance to do it over and over and over again. Okay, this next section that I've done here is trace and color. So this is just basically the basic alphabet. Remember, we're only on level A right here. And so they're going to trace the letters, trace the picture, and then they're going to color. So T is for turtle, and you want them to say it out loud so they're hearing the sound, the T at the beginning of turtle. They can color it with their dry erase marker. They can, if you're not using dry erase, then they can color it with actually, I do have a green dry erase marker here. So anyway, you can have them do it however they want. And then another great thing I like to do on this is when you're practicing the letter, you say, okay, T. T says t, t, t. Let's do our capital T and our lowercase t. So what I did is I got out my magnetic letters here, and then I'm going to use the capital T, and I'm going to use a lowercase t, and you have the students actually put the letters on there. It's a super fun for them, and then they can obviously look at the uppercase and lowercase, practice the sounds, and so on. All right, and this last one here, they're going to be drawing lines to match beginning sounds. Again, we're only on level A, so we're working on the alphabet sounds. So draw lines to match the beginning sounds. Quilt starts with Q, and umbrella, can you see this? Starts with U, and fire starts with F, and apple starts with A. So that is how I've designed the first 10 pages of Learn to Read Leveled Fluency Beyond. They're all designed the same way. So let's grab another one and I'll show you. For an example, it's the same thing. You've got your saying sounds on the first box. You've got your tracing and circling. You've got a letter here with a picture that matches, and then you've got your drawing lines to the beginning sounds. So the subsequent pages in Learn to Read Leveled Fluency Beyond, I will design differently. Of course, the first box will still always have some way of practicing sounds or blending sounds or practicing words, but the rest of them will have variations as I go along and as I continue to design them. So again, if you're interested in getting more pages, adding to what you've already have, if you already have the original Learn to Read Level Fluency you can, now you can have some more, or if you just want the new ones and you don't want the old ones, you can do that too, because they can be used individually. They don't have to be used with the first set. All right, I hope this video was enjoyable for you. I'm going to leave links below in the description box to all of the Learn to Read Level Fluency things that are on the Fun Hands-On Learning website, so you can check it out. And I appreciate you spending time with me today. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time. Bye!